Dear listeners, back to our lesson of today. Last time we were discussing the methods, now we are going to the third method. But to remind you a bit, we talked about interview method, then we talked about observation. Now let us go to the third method, which is the recording. Recording method. If you remember well, we said first and foremost we have to define, we have to know the definition of recording. So by definition we say that recording is a method of data collection that involves the use of a pen, a pencil or a ruler and any other writing material like a book to note down information got in the area of study. So you define it by saying that this is a method of data collection that involves the use of a pen or pencil and a notebook. To write down geographical information got from the area of study. That is the definition for the term, for that word recording, or for that method known as recording method. A method of data collection that involves the use of a pen, a pencil, and a notebook to write down geographical information got from the area of study. So, still, in the case of a question where you are asked to explain how the method was used, of course you will go back to the other items, the other things that I told you that we follow. The items that we follow, you remember them? We said the first thing is when you are answering that question, of course that's how you will always set it. They will not require you to only define. They will say, explain how recording method was used. Was used when collecting information. So you have to remember, to remind yourself, where do I begin from? Where I begin from? I begin from define the method. Write it as it is. A method of data collection that involves the use of a pen, a pencil, and a notebook to write down geographical information got from the area of study. Then after defining how it was used. How was the method used? And then after how the method was used, what were your outcomes? Did you get exactly what you wanted using this recording method? Say for example, if you want to know the fish species, did you get write down the fish species got? Did you write down the methods of fishing, problems, etc.? So in that way, UNEB will be requiring you to handle it in that way. How was the recording method used when collecting data in the area of study? Define how it is used and then outcomes. So to give it to you in the real way of answering it, you will say recording method is a method of data collection that involves the use of a pen, pencil, and a notebook to write down. One can say to jot, one can say to note down geographical information got from the area of study. So after that, continue by saying while I was. Where? While I was in Mutiawa fish landing site, I used a pen and a notebook to write down. Write down the methods of fish preservation. Methods of fish preservation used in whatever fish landing site. These were, so you list out some of them. These were, for example, smoking, for example, salting, sun drying, to mention but a few. So the examiner will be expected to see you have identified the method, you have defined the method, then told us how it was used. While I was in Mtwara fish landing site, I used a pen and a notebook to write down. Don't repeat the word. If you say I used the pen and to record, the method becomes wrong. So you say to write down. If you don't say to write down, you can say to note down. Methods of fish preservation used in the fish landing site. These were smoking, salting, sun drying, etc. etc. So that is it. Then you go to the other part of problems. Not problems, but rather advantages. Advantages of recording a method. The first advantage is that recorded information lasts for a long period of time. Once you record out something, the recorded information can stay as long as you want it to be. It can stay for a very, very long period of time. The other advantage is mistakes can be what? Can be checked. Mistakes can be checked and then corrected. Once you are using the recording method where you have made an error, say for example, what you are talking about in what you have recorded is not there, you can change a bit and correct that information. Now, this is in this method, very many things can be covered. A lot of information is covered. You write it down, then once you write it down, it remains there, and then you just add on another one. So you find yourself covering very many things. It is not limited by weather problem. For example, visibility. Maybe fog. So you find that you may require to sit somewhere, maybe in a place, and then you record down all the information got in the area of study. There are very many other advantages as we are going to be seeing them, but for now, we shall add them more with the time. We can as well look briefly on the disadvantages, the side of these advantages. One of the disadvantages of recording is it requires illiterate people. It can't be used by the illiterates. You must of course be knowing how to read and write to use a recording method, and as well you must be knowing how to of course I've told you to read and write. The other thing is it is costly because it requires writing materials or recording materials. It requires to have recording materials. If you don't have recording materials, you need to buy them, which means it becomes costly for you. Like it is in observation, you also need to move from place to place, and therefore it becomes you have to move from place to place, and therefore it becomes tiresome. Since you have to move from place to place, it becomes tiresome. If you are recording, you must of course each where the items are, you note them down. So in that case, therefore you find yourself traveling for a long distance, and at the end of the day, it becomes what? Tiresome. So those are some of the disadvantages that are associated with the dirty method.